Hello everybody, how are you? I'm trying something new. I am officially figuring out how to stream live on Instagram and TikTok and Twitch all at the same time. So don't mind me if there's some like weird things I'm trying to figure out, but I am going to figure it out. I did decide that I was going to doodle today, but the interesting thing is when I decide I'm going to doodle, I always want to stream. But streaming also requires me to manage a lot of setup. So as an ADHD person, the way that it worked was I decided to stream, which means that I needed to do my setup here. So I had to go find all my devices and I plugged them in. After I plugged them in, I decided I need to turn on the lights here, but I wanted these lights to be different colors, and they need to switch, like connect to the remote after like you turn it on, but the remote's been dead for like a month or so. So then I had to go replace the batteries on the remote. So when I went into the kitchen to replace the batteries on the remote, I realized I needed a small screwdriver. So I went into the drawer and I said, okay, if I need a small screwdriver, there's probably one in here or on this table, but everything's so messy I just can't see it. So I reorganized everything on the table, not in the drawer though. I reorganized everything on the table to see if it was there, and then like kind of ruffled through the drawers and I couldn't. So after I couldn't find that, I went to the garage and unscrewed the thing that I needed to unscrew and put in the battery that was in the kitchen on the table into the thing, which who knows how long that took. And then I came over here and I decided that I was going to set this up, but then I wanted to stream on all platforms. So then I had to figure out how to stream on all platforms. Also had to figure out how to connect it to my phone. And then, so now I end up enabling Twitch, enabling TikTok, setting up a new video streaming for making sure it works on live view at a horizontal and vertical. And, somehow my battery on my iPad is still alive, so I don't even know what I'm doing here anymore, other than be like, you go around in circles so many times when you're ADHD. You have to figure out why you are where you are, and then also I haven't eaten anything, so I have to probably do that, and then I'm probably running out of energy because I've been doing this for like 3 hours, so I'll probably take an energy drink as well, you guys. This is why streaming is hard, but I do want to do it more often. So I dedicated myself to doing that today. So hi everybody, my name is Gail, also known as TealTeacup. If you have never watched a stream, or if you have never met me in person before, I am your local ADHD artist. I am from California, but I travel around a lot. My next event will be in Florida, in Orlando, Florida, for MegaCon. So please come see either me or my team members there, and I would love it if you came and said hi. Today I decided that I want to stream doing art, but I don't even know if I have enough energy to do that. So I will try. But my main reason for being on is to chat with you guys and to hang out. If you guys don't want to hang out here, please go ahead and hang out with me on TikTok. Oh, there's a lot of people. You should have a snack. Oh, thank you, Yin Yang. I'll do that. I'm a huge fan of your content. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna check the chat. Oh, there's a lot of people. Hey, Neo Tokyo Pens, long time no see. Oh, thanks for coming and hanging out, guys. I love it. I'm going to try to keep track of the chat both here and in Twitch. If anybody wants to move over to Twitch, please feel free. Because there is a different setup there, and there's a different streaming platform there. Hey. Leg God the cat says, what are you going to draw? That's a good question. Maybe I should ask you guys, what should I draw? I was originally planning on testing out something new because I purchased a program on my iPad. It is called, I don't even know. What was it called? It's called CaliPeg. I literally just bought it. And I've never used it before, but it's for animation, and I figure animation probably takes quite a bit of brain work to figure out because I am not an animator. I just enjoy the idea of animation. But I had been next backups will be saved. Okay. I have been thinking of animating for a while. I actually downloaded what is it called? Procreate Dreams to try to animate some stuff, but Procreate Dreams is such a pain in the butt, to be honest. Your art would look really fun animated, thanks. I think I would have a lot of fun animating it. I just I don't know animation programs, so and this is literally just downloaded. Like I just downloaded it right now. So what I'm thinking is that the level of effort that it'll take to start to learn might be pretty high for today since it took me so long to get started. But new shot, create. I don't even have like a template or workflow. You should do a cat with ADHD running in a circle. Look and animate that. I have to figure out how to do that. Right now, this is like, I swear to you guys, one of the things that comes with being ADHD also is that I'm dyslexic. So when I'm tired and I haven't eaten and I haven't had any caffeine, and the only reason why is because I have my what is it called? Invisalign in, and I need to take it off. I should have taken it off before the stream. You guys, ADHD AF, I am telling you, it is such a challenge, but I swear to you guys, I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna make drawing something happen. Okay, so what I'm gonna do to start is I am actually going to doodle because it's my comfort zone, and maybe I'll like break myself into some sort of space where I'm comfortable doing that. Sarcastic Panda says, hi, true. Hi, Sarcastic Panda. How are you? Sarcastic Panda is on Twitch, so if you guys want to come hang out with me on Twitch, I am trying to somehow magically keep up with both of the streams. This is gonna be a challenge. Suffering. Oh, but if you guys can't tell, I actually connected the Twitch stream to the video feed for Instagram and for everything that I'm streaming on other platforms. So you'll at least be able to see that one there. And then, did I do anything else? I think I managed dual output for multi-stream. So you should, if you're on other platforms, it should show up somehow. I'm dyslexic AF. Also, that's why I love art so much, is I don't have to read words as much. Exactly. So if you guys haven't seen my work, sorry, some of this is really choppy because I was copying and pasting stuff and trying to move things around so I can draw over, but I draw with like really blocky shapes and, kind of like bold lines, because I realized that the way that my brain works is it works in shapes and lines. So when I'm building up some sort of piece of artwork, yes, I can take a lot of time and draw super detailed, like, real to life type work, but it takes a lot of like processing power and many, many, many weeks for me to do a single image, while this is something that I could pull off while sitting down and doodling, like working in shapes and blocks and lines. So that's why you get a lot of bold shapes with my work, because of my dyslexia and my processing system, that's kind of just what works best for me. Sarcastic Panda says, trying to survive the last push of grad school, going to K-pop rave later on tonight. Oh, you would? That sounds like fun. A K-pop rave? That sounds absolutely crazy. So far someone said I should draw an ADHD cat, but first another person said I should eat something or get a snack and hydrate. So I'm gonna do that. Just give me 1 second. I had to see if I can pull over to the side. I don't even know if I got off screen. I had to pull out my... Don't judge me. Do not judge me. I'll figure out this live thing at some point. Let's go ahead and get some hydration and some food at the same time, because this is literally me feeding myself. Like, this is how I have to do it now, or else I'll forget to eat. There's also like mushroom coffee mixed in here and some like some sort of grain that's good for processing. Just because I need something that's going to keep me alive. Oh, I feel a little bit better already. Aha, no judgment. Food and hydration are good. Thank you. Also, caffeine. Let's see how this works. I don't really drink caffeine unless I'm at events. But I spent 3 hours setting up for this stream that I have not even drawn yet. But I've been watching a lot of, what's it called? A lot of One Piece. So when I drew this template here, I was at the last event and it was relatively slow. So I drew this template and I wanted to figure out if I could do like anybody on it. Like if I could draw myself, if I can draw multiple characters. Also, I wanted to play around a little bit and see if I can push my art processing power. And see if I can take the same image and move it into different like views of the same thing, and kind of think about how that changes the pieces of it, so that when I start working with streaming more often, if I decided to make some sort of avatar or VTuber or something, I could just have a little bit of practice on how to set that stuff up on an artistic way. So this was Luffy. I drew him like face going first, and then I drew him looking down, and I made some edits to see how he would look looking up. I don't like the hat when he's looking down, because I'm pretty confident that Luffy's hat wouldn't look like that if he was looking down. But then I decided to draw him, you know, to the side and moved his hat a little bit and made it a little bit more round. And I was in the middle of drawing him looking down. I think I had screenshot some images when I was watching it last of him looking down. I wanted to reference his hat, so let me go ahead and pull up some images for myself. Photos. Did I screen? No, I took a photo of it. You can't screenshot things when you're watching shows anymore because it always turns black. Even though I want to like reference something so I can remember it. Again, I'm going to talk ADHD right now, but I don't know if any other ADHD people are like me and they have 100,000 screenshots on their phone just so that they can just remember something. That like, maybe I looked at it and I thought something at the time, so I screenshot it. So I don't know if I'll ever look back at those screenshots ever again. I don't know if I'll ever be able to sort all of the screenshots because as of now, I have 92,658 photos in my phone. 92,658 photos as of today. The 1st of February, 2025. And I have 16,684 videos. When I said don't judge me, that also extended till right now. Hopefully somebody in this world understands me so that I feel a little bit less alone. But yeah, so speaking of that, let me go back. See, ADHD, you're gonna get my brain that does things that I don't really want it to do. All I want it to do is stream. That's all I want it to do, y'all. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I was going to skip this like 3/4 view because I thought it would be better to work on the, what's it called? Work on the view that's halfway. So let me select this and duplicate it. I got a lot of duplicates because I want to like mush down layers, and when I mush down layers I don't want to lose things, so I'm gonna do that. Let's not mush things together, that shouldn't be mushed. Okay, so these ones I'll mush down these layers. No, do I want to do that? No, I don't. I want to turn these layers off. Okay. Face front, look up. Okay, look up can be mushed down. Okay, cool. So let me change this a lot actually. I'm going to modify Godleg says same. I don't know if you mean having way too many things. Way too many photos and screenshots on your phone, but if you do, thank you for making me feel less alone. If you guys are just joining, come hang out with me on Twitch. I'm Twitch at TealTeacup 1. Yeah, so TealTeacup with a 1 after it, because for some reason someone had already taken TealTeacup, which I will forever be vexed by that. Let's see, so we've got this. Oh, I was going to do a side view, so let me see if I want to move this. I can still reference it. I'm going to be drawing more often, so don't worry if like this is not something you can stick around for. I'm definitely going to try to draw more often live, which is why I'm putting the effort into the whole figuring it out part of it, which for me, figuring out is the hardest part, because on the tech side, I'm not that techy. XW Wyvern says, hello, how are you today? Thanks, Liv. I am doing well. I am doing well. I am trying to eat and hydrate at the same time. I am trying to energize as well. And I am trying to get to drawing at some point. At some point. Fairlife is so good. It is good, isn't it? So I got this mushroom coffee stuff, and it actually makes it taste even better. And I just mix it in there, and it's supposed to give me energy, even though I'm also drinking an energy drink, because I have a feeling that I'm gonna crash today, which is not good. It's just a result of my how do I put it? I have only so much time in the day, and I spend a lot of it trying to figure out what I'm doing with my day. I wanted to like share an experience I had today actually, and it was a good experience, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. But I needed to send some stuff to Florida, so I used, what's it called? I used a service called cargo shipping for the first time. And cargo shipping basically is me choosing to ship my stuff ahead of time, like ship my stuff to the event, not to the event, to the airport. So I'm using Southwest to start. And from what I hear, Southwest is like more expensive than some of the options, but they like handle a lot of the technical side that you don't have to handle on your own, which for me, it's like the difference between having a PC or having, not a PC, maybe like a, like, I don't know, having an iPhone and having another device, you know, which means that like it's just kind of looks nice, like easier to use. So I just do it. I go with that. It's ridiculous when it comes down to how much they charge for those things, but I'm stuck with it because of convenience. Like connect with other devices and stuff like that, and I have to do less thinking. And on the technical side, it makes things a little bit easier for me to wrap my brain around. So I decided to go with cargo shipping with Southwest, and it was pretty easy to open up an account with, and I'm using it today, and it's unfortunately very expensive, but I did ship a lot of stuff, so I'm not sure if it would be different if I decided to ship less stuff and like have it be a smaller event. But since I ship so much, it costs quite a bit, but hopefully the event covers enough to make it worth having done. I'll probably talk more about that later on to give you guys my perspective on how it worked out and like if I would advise it and in what circumstances. But it's definitely something that I'm trying for the first time. Why is this? I feel like this doesn't want to follow what my brain expects it to do. So following me drawing is basically watching me draw the same thing, the same line, the same image over and over. I'll just draw. You know, I never thought about that. Like, would it like cut out of the mouth? I don't really like that. Looks weird. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a little bit of grace and do a little baby nose that doesn't show when you're not looking forward. Thanks for joining. If you guys haven't hung out with me before, I am streaming live, but this time I'm streaming live for the first time on Twitch and other platforms. So come hang out with me on Twitch if you'd like, or you can hang out with me on Instagram or any other place that you might find me. And, you know, chat with me. I'd love to chat with you guys. If you guys have any questions while I'm drawing, please feel free. I'm just doodling right now, and eventually I might decide to start attempting animation. But this is all just based off of a template. So the template is is just for me to restrain what proportions I'm using. It's not necessarily how I would want to draw this if I just wasn't using rules. This is just setting a base set of rules for myself, and I want to see how that works. I don't usually draw templates like this, but I've drawn a couple of them and ignored them. But I figure I spend so much time drawing things for the first time, it might be nice if I've drawn it before and I get a little bit of, you know, a muscle memory, I guess. XW Wyvern says, I don't have Twitch, so I'm glad you're doing it here too. Okay, cool. I'm glad. And then, ooh, first time chat. Shar Zealthon says, thanks for continuing to create. I have one of your no face bags from when it first came out. Oh, Shar, do you know what, Shar, thank you. I hope you don't mind if I shorten your name when I speak to people. Sometimes like just cutting it to the first few letters helps me with like the dyslexic reading side of it. But thank you for saying that. That means a lot. And thank you for supporting the bag when they first came out, because you know, I had this, I don't know, this idea or this concept that these bags could be fun, and they have been. And even in the process of making them and having them have been out for just a little, like more than a year now. I didn't do a Kickstarter last year. I did like a pre-order restock for them. I didn't do a new bag because last year was pretty rough. But in that timeline, I still haven't quite seen something that does what my imagined mind would be doing. So it's kind of cool to see have that been able to be supported when the idea came out and things like that. So right now I'm just trying to figure out how to be able to afford to make more, because it's been really fun to make them. And I have ideas, but I can't invest into those ideas until I get rid of the other bags. Until I move the product and have a chance to make room for another big project, both like mentally and physical space. I want to have actual space for storage when I decide to do another project. So in both of my first bag was bigger than the second bag, and the next bags will actually be like smaller ideas as well, because I have ideas of what I want to make already. And I want tinier bags, or like small side bags, things that I carry. Like I always carry, what are they called? I always carry like a little, like almost like a fanny pack kind of thing, but I just carry it crossbody. And I want to design some small things like that I could wear to replace those. Because wearing my own stuff is fun. And seeing other people wear it is really fun too. It's okay. I feel that maybe like a Soot Sprite. Yeah, a Soot Sprite looking crossbody. You know, I did some designs that were fun, but I made them as pins for my patrons, and I made them as coasters. Like this one is like a little flame bag. I already have a flame bag, but I did do a Soot Sprite version of it that I don't have with me as a coaster, but I do have it with me as a pin. And I don't think I have any more of these right now in stock, but like having something cute based off of like a little teeny tiny like consistent or cohesive design, I think that would be fun. Shar says, adorable. Thank you. Yeah, I've got like small ideas and big ideas, but I think the most fun ideas are the ones that like push the limit. Like ask myself like if I can accomplish something strange that when someone sees it, they see a regular bag, and then when they get the idea of you know, what's different about it, they have a moment of like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that. And like that's really fun. Like in person, I've been doing that at events. People see the doubles. They'll see the Soot Sprite. They'll see the Calcifer bag, but they won't know it's double-sided. And I'll say, hey, did you know it's double-sided? And then they'll grab it and take it down and have this like look on their face. It's like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, cool. Like, I think it's cool. I hope you like it. So it's fun. I like it. So yeah, certain bags I've been able to, oops, I started to draw. Should I just draw myself? Why not? Let's draw myself. I don't need to keep drawing Luffy. Let's make it fun in a way that I can explore the concept of that I tried to do in the first place, which was, can you accomplish doing anything, any character at all based off of this template? Maybe I'll ask you guys what character I should do next after this, just because it's something that my brain can wrap itself around right now. XWY says, a small bag for little outings would be fun. My locker at work is tiny, so that would be cute. Yeah, so I want it to be small, but I also want it to be super functional like the other ones. So I've had ideas in the past, and of course I've taken notes and written things down, so I have to like collect all those things and figure out what I want to move on. For me, like when it's a big project like that, I don't want to just do a project just to do it. I want to do it for a reason. I want to give people something solid to feel like they're supporting something that they can't find elsewhere. So I have to think a little bit more about it. But yeah, something that's easy for me to, most of my thought process is always like, what would people want to carry around at a convention? But also, what can they also bring to like Costco? I don't know why Costco. Maybe it's because I don't like shopping, but Costco's also kind of crappy. I'm not crappy. I feel crappy when I go to Costco. I don't like shopping at all. Unless it's online. I like shopping online. Okay, so if I was going to draw myself, what profile? Probably would have to draw a profile that has my hair down for now, since I'm like referencing myself. Maybe. You've never been to Costco. XWY Vern. Don't ever go. I know that you're like shy for people and it's very overwhelming, but it has, like, I got like a whole bunch of these and I got a whole bunch of these, so Costco kind of keeps me alive, not gonna lie. So, but I would not recommend it if you are if you have social anxiety like we do. It's pretty rough. Let me think. So I want to look at myself. When I'm drawing, I don't really like, it's kind of hard because I don't really like, for example, how do I put this? I feel like I just move my hand around, and right now I'm trying to draw in a way that is solid, and that's what happens. This is why I wanted to draw first, like doodle something within my comfort zone first, because I have a feeling that streaming live is going to change like how I would approach drawing, and I'm already feeling that's true, because I don't think when I draw, I just kind of move my hand. How did you get your sketches on the side of your tablet like that? Say that one more time. Sorry, my processing system is like, how did you get, I'm wondering if I'm reading it right. How did you get your sketches on the side of your tablet like that? Do you mean how, like what program am I drawing with, or how did I get it to show up here, or how, yeah, give me some more details. It's going to help me out so I can answer your question accurately. I just feel like, I don't know, something about these limitations is like bothering me for the profile view. So I think I have to ask myself if I'm limiting myself because it's right, or if I'm limiting myself because I told myself that this was what I needed to do. Like if the neck should actually be there or whatever. So this is the first time I'm actually using this template. How did you get it to show up? So, okay, so I'll give you guys some more details and maybe this will answer the question. One of the things that I do have that's helped out, because, and again, I'm going to go on sidebar for like a million of this conversation, but one of the things that I did get was this thing called like a Genki, Genki, and it's like this little plug that I got for when I wanted to play Switch games, and I want to stream via my Switch, and it was something that it's available now if you went to the website, but it was something that I supported on Kickstarter at the time. And I'm glad I did it because it's very, very useful, because I can connect it to any device, whether it's like my camera or my iPad, and it will stream to an app on Genki, and then I can connect through OBS, which I'm using through Streamlabs. I can connect through OBS to like reflect or view that video stream. Oh, don't hear your sound, or is it just me? Would you ever stream some games? You guys let me know if you guys are having any issues hearing, because right now it shows as my audio's working, but I really want to know if anyone can't hear the stream. That's very important. How would you ever... I can hear you fine. Okay, thanks, Haley. I appreciate it. Would you ever stream some games? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, here's the problem. Here's a reason why I don't like streaming. I used to stream games when I would stream on Twitch a lot more often, which is going to be now as well. I'm going to be streaming on Twitch a lot more often. The problem that I have is that I make stupid faces. No continues, thanks, and hey, how are you, by the way? I make really stupid faces when I play games. Like that's my focus face when I'm like beating things up. And I hate it. I hate looking back at those streams. I hate it so much. I hate it so much because I look so dumb. So I kind of want to build a avatar, you know, a VTuber specifically for when I'm gaming. So when I'm chatting with you guys, that's like no problem. Like I want to have my face and I want to hang out with you guys and stuff like that. And as soon as it switches over to a gaming stream, I want to turn on a little avatar so that when I make stupid faces, like nobody knows. This is my dream. And when it comes true, I want somebody to be there to tell me, Gail, you did it. You did it. That would be amazing and awesome. Thank you. I really hope that this like streaming more often will lead to this dream coming true. There must be something going on here. Thanks. I'm sorry, Layla. I hope everything I hope that you maybe, so for me, maybe sometimes when I tap the screen, the audio turns on, especially if you're on Instagram. An avatar in your style would be very adorable. See, that's why I want to do the animation apps. Like I've already downloaded 2 animation apps, you guys. 2! I just want to use them. I've already put a whole 30 doll hairs into animation apps. I want to be an animator now. Can I be animator now? Thanks. It's a cute template. It's very, very round. It's interesting to think of like, how do I put this? It's interesting to think of my artwork in different views, which is one of the reasons why I did this, because sometimes I feel like my sketchy approach without like it having any type of rules behind it, sometimes I feel like it is a reason why I don't accomplish all of my ideas as solidly as I originally had hoped. I have a lot of ideas and sometimes I just hit a wall with them. So I was like, if I practice like the rules, maybe when I approach something, it'll be easier. But I think these rules are making me make decisions right now that I wouldn't normally make, which is interesting too. Like, would I decide to do it draw this way if I hadn't set up this template in advance? No, probably not. But what does that mean for me? Oh, I guess we'll see. No continues. You need to get another apple butter chicken sandwich. So I'm not gonna lie, the chicken in the apple butter chicken sandwich was so thick that I was like, I don't know if I can survive this. But that apple butter with the biscuit, oh, that was so good. That was exactly what I needed to keep myself alive. I am a carb fiend though. It's a problem that I need to fix because my doctor's like, yo, calm yourself. Your sugars are really out of control. And I'm like, this is just my life. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. This is why I have the Fairlife. Is literally doctor prescribed. They're like, you need to have some actual protein in your system on a daily basis. Thanks. So if you want to survive this whole process. Oh, shoot. I've been ignoring your messages. You guys. First of all, Marcus came into Twitch and says hello for the first time. Hello, Marcus. I hope you're still here. And then it's okay. I feel like that maybe sits by crossbody. The double side makes it more versatile for different outfits. And then Sheraton says the double side makes that the Ita bags more versatile for different outfits, which sounds like fun. I should take some photos and videos based off of like different outfits with the bag. And then Marcus says, how are you? And then I ignored him like a jerk. I'm sorry, Marcus. I hope you're still there, because I just want to tell you that I'm trying my best to stay my brain in spaces that I can follow. And when there's 2 streams, this is actually one of the things I have to figure this out. Oh, hi, Marcus. Okay, Marcus is still there. I'm so glad. I thought I missed you. And Shar says, yeah, she's streaming on different platforms. Are you on platforms besides Twitch? Yes. So this is my first stream in a very long time. And the stream that I'm doing right now is definitely different from anything I've ever done before, meaning that I am streaming both on Twitch and Instagram and YouTube and TikTok all at the same time. So far I've been able to manage, and the most important part is not like what I'm drawing, to be honest. This is like silly for now. Some fun stuff comes from streaming live, but it like comes some time in. Like it takes a while for the fun stuff to come out after my brain wraps itself around just being here and like finds a comfort zone. But the fun part is chatting with you guys. So I just want to like hang out on a regular basis. I feel like if I'm going to be drawing stuff anyways, if I'm going to be managing vectors and everything anyways, if I'm going to be doing all this work, why do it by myself? Sometimes I might need to be in a focus zone, so I might finish something, you know, most of the time I'll probably finish things on my own, but I want to definitely make a habit of coming on and hanging out with you guys live, because then I get to talk to you and it makes a difference. Because if you ever meet me in person, which I will be at more events, it'll be a little bit more like there's a first level of connection because we talked here. No Continue says, you sound like a mocha latte version of Bob Ross. So silky and calm. Thank you. I don't know if you guys also can hear the music. Tell me if the music's actually working, because I try to keep a really low-key vibe here, and when I used to stream, people used to just hang out with me and just relax and do the dishes. Like, if you guys really want to come on here and use me as some sort of ADHD people like myself, like we need a just a person to be in the room, a body doubling thing, please do so. And then Marcus says, I first followed you on Instagram. I hope to meet you at a con this year. Marcus, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Give me a thumbs up if you ever say hi, or a high five or something. I would really appreciate that. Okay, so I officially drank my Fairlife. Tell my doctor I'm doing a good job. I'm a caffeine sipper. I feel like there's like what's it called? Like there's like a threshold that I have for caffeine that once I cross it, like there's like a point where it's fun, and then there's another point where I'm just like hyper. And hyper's fun, especially maybe if you're streaming. But like I remember years ago, I will never forget being banned from drinking coffee before meetings when I used to work at gaming companies because I drink too much caffeine. And when I drink too much caffeine and I'm like on one, like maybe I had like a good night's sleep or something, you know, maybe I was in a good mood and the world was working very well. This is obviously pre-pandemic. I just think very fast, and I already speak fast enough, so it was just, I can't, get to a point where I'm responding to people before they get a chance to do their own responses. Shar says, ooh, a pin series of cute chore pins, like a dish with eyes and suds that says do the dishes. I should draw that just for fun, even if it's not a pin series. No, I'm not saying that it shouldn't be a pin series. What I'm saying is that I should draw things anyways. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like one of my limitations that I have for myself for the past couple years has been around whether whether it can be made into a product, and breaking those limitations is way more fun. And even if it's just a sticker, like stickers, you guys have no idea. I am sticker obsessed, first of all. And second of all, when I first started, you're probably gonna hear this a million times if you stream with me. When I first started doing TealTeacup, I started it by making stickers. I wasn't making pins. I became known for making pins later on, but the first thing I was doing was stickers. And even though there's a billion designs that I could do, I can't make them all into like expensive enamel pin products, but I can make them all into relatively affordable stickers. So, I don't know if you guys hear the little bell of my cat. He's coming over. So I make a lot of stickers. I'm very happy to make stickers. And people, when I'm at events, like a large percentage of my sales comes from stickers actually. So I'll talk a lot about events because I will be at a lot this year. And I did promise myself, and I promised you guys that I would, I would do a lot of retrospective discussion and share things I've learned and all that jazz. So one of the things about cons is, baby. Hi, Papas. This is my baby. He's my son. His name is Link. And he smells kind of decent. I gave him a bath yesterday. He's not very happy with me. Just don't destroy. There's too many cords up here, baby. There's too many cords. And there's too many things for you to knock over because you're just coming here to cause trouble. He's like, I'm done napping. Now it's time for chaos. What was I talking about? XW Ivern says, so cute. Thank you. He's my baby. I love him so much. You'll see him more often. Yeah. So at cons, I decided I wanted to start sharing more things about cons. So I'll be doing my retrospective discussions, which would have been today if I didn't come on here specifically because I want to draw and I didn't want to like be too much in that thinking mode, but also just kind of like might share stuff about cons in the meantime. Like for example, when I'm at cons, it's not too easy to bring things like bigger items. For example, I used to have, the Ita bags is one. It's really, really expensive to ship them, to get them there. So I shipped a good amount, in my opinion, more than normal to MegaCon because I told you guys I was doing the cargo shipping for the first time. So I got to ship a good amount there. But the ideal situation is that they actually sell, because shipping them back is equally expensive. Since I'm traveling from California, it would be shipping them back. And it's like, I think like $1 and some change per pound. And so it's multiple dollars, doll hairs to ship each one of them back. Anyways, so, but the thing about the Ita bags is that if you think about the process of planning out, your products, there's big products, there's medium products, there's small products in size. And then there's also that same in expense. So if you think about it, I used to have conversations about this before. There's a value ladder, there's a tier kind of ladder to how to explain this, to how much a specific product entry point kind of could be. So I made the Ita bags because I was comfortable making the Ita bags because one, they are more expensive, and at the time I'd only done pens, and the most expensive pen that I had at the time was like $25. And I was moving into an Ita bag that's, the base price of it is $115, but when they're on sale, catch it. Anyways, so I was like, are people going to want to support this bag? Because like the production cost is so much more expensive. So the cost of these bags, and it's because they're high quality and because I did a lot of random stuff to make them cool, like the double-sided stuff and making sure the wallets are connectable and the size of the bags and stuff like that, and the quality of the materials and stuff. But are people going to want to support these bags was the initial question. But we've got a tier value ladder. So for example, if someone wants to support TealTeacup, they can do it at the or anybody's shop. They can do it at like a $5 range or a $3 range, which is where we get the pins. No, sorry, the stickers. They're like 2 for $5 when I'm at cons. So people can easily just buy a bunch of stickers. But when they end up getting stickers, it's like maybe someone who might buy 6 stickers is someone who might buy 1 pin. So I have to sell 1 pin to cover the same amount of like income that 6 stickers can get, which is totally fine because I make like 100 stickers. So people will buy 6 stickers often. And then if we're doing pins, now I can sell 1 bag and get the income for, and if the smallest pen, like on average pen is about $15, $15.30, you know, like you can get like, I don't know, I'm terrible at math, ADHD kids, also numbers, dyslexic, but you can tell that someone supporting the bag is going, even though the income it costs for me to create the bag was higher, so like what I've like already put into them per unit is much higher. So when they're sitting around, it's a very expensive thing to hold on to. The cost of selling 1 for my business is much more like it's incredible support. So having them around makes it to where I might be able to sell like maybe let's just say 10 bags. I might be able to sell 10 bags, but the value of that at an event, I could sell 10 bags and it could still like be in competition with selling a whole bunch of pens at the same event. So having the bags and people supporting the bags is just as important. But if I think about it as a whole, if I have to do the math again because it's been a while, but I think it was like 25% of sales come just with stickers. That's a lot of stickers. People buy a lot of stickers. So even the smaller items and just getting those and having a whole bunch of people having like a small entry point, it might be less people who get the bags, but it's still really supportive for my business. And it might be less money for the pins, but it's still a lot of people who, I mean the stickers, but still a lot of people who get them. And that's just kind of the difference between selling less of a more expensive item and more of a less expensive item, and having a variety of products in between that people can grab at different prices. I hope that makes sense. Nikki Blue Cat says, you're so pretty and talented. Just wanted to jump in and tell you thank you for your creations. Thank you, Nikki. You're such a sweet baby. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm over here trying to draw myself. It's not because I'm like, I'm gonna draw me, but it's because I don't know. I don't have to think as much if I'm drawing TealTeacup. But thank you, my love. Or maybe I do have to think more. I used to draw myself with my hair, with my curly hair, up in a big bun. But recently I've been drawing myself with my braids because everywhere that I go, I've been wearing my braids anyways. And people have a tendency to like tell me that they know me now based off of the purple braids. Your rendition of yourself is darling. You should totally make some products of that design. I love it. I'll definitely try to make some stickers and I'll just give them to you guys for free. Are you planning to do any more original characters? The answer is yes. And what I do need is more space for in time like this, which I've been trying to do for years, is find this dedicated space and time to be able to draw on a regular basis and hang out and like introduce myself and introduce you guys to a series of characters that like we both can fall in love with and you guys can see more regularly, because I drew some characters that I actually love. I love them a lot, and I fell off on drawing them because I was too busy wrapping my head around what it was going to take to succeed and to not even thrive, but just to survive doing TealTeacup over the past couple years. So I had all these goals, and I had like implemented a lot of like work and effort and training and people, and I had to like let go of all of that. I had to let go of all of the distractions that were keeping me from feeling like I could draw, just to be honest, to feeling like I could do what it took to make, not to like make this like a super successful business anymore, maybe just to make it something that I still enjoy. Because being a business is hard, and being a business in this timeline is extra hard. Letting go of things is hard, trusting people is hard. And I do have some really great team members that are like legit making this whole thing possible. A couple that are in California, one that ships things to you guys, and one that helps me manage like all of the planning and all of the marketing stuff, and one that helps me show up at events, and one that responds to all of your customer service inquiries and keeps me in the loop with things and allows me to make sure that you guys get responded to, even if I'm not responding on the customer service side. Let's see. So, sorry, Marcus, I didn't respond. It said, I'll be at my 5th CTE to this year in Chicago if you're going to be there. I will totally be at C2E2 for the first time. So that's exciting. I'll be in a vendor space, not at the artist alley. I've been doing a lot of artist alley recently, so I'm going to have to like be very vocal with you guys and let you know where I'm going to be when I show up places so you can find me. I'll be at a vendor space. Again, if you guys didn't know, I'm drawing these based off of a template. I'm streaming both on Twitch and on other social media platforms. I'm following the chat here on Instagram, so I really like it when you guys hang out and like talk with me. It makes me feel like I'm in here hanging out with people, which is why I decided to stream live. And then also when you guys chat with me on Twitch, and you guys can see the stream that has a Twitch chat, but please go ahead and go to Twitch if you want to hang out there. Follow me on either. That would be really cool. What cons do you have lined up already? Ooh, I have lots of cons. You guys want to talk about it for a second? I'll take a short break and then I'll show you guys what it looks like to draw over the same thing. Because that's what I do. I draw something and I draw over it. Hopefully this doesn't mess up my stream. I don't think it should. Nope, stream's still good. Help. Yep. Let me go to... So if you guys are interested in figuring out where I'm going to be, then please go and check out my Instagram, because I have it pinned to the top. I haven't replaced it yet, but the next one you'll find either me and my team member, or my team member, depending on who's at the table at the time. It'll be MegaCon Orlando, and then I'll definitely be at Emerald City Comic Con. I'm still getting my flight tickets for that because, I don't know, a million tasks to accomplish one thing. But I did get my hotel. That was off the list. I feel great. I got into something called Awesome Con. That was the first time, and that one's MegaCon will be Artist Alley, Emerald City will be Vendor Hall, and then Awesome Con in Washington at the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. That one's in April. That one will be I think that one's Artist Alley as well, but I can't remember. And then C2E2 for the first time. I think that's a vendor hall. Fan Expo Philadelphia, that one is an Artist Alley. MomoCon is Artist Alley. And then Anime Expo in July, that one will be vendor hall. But Anime Expo is going to be really weird, not going to lie. I'm really hoping y'all come out and support at AX, because they moved us to a different hall. Yes, it's vendor, but it's not the vendor hall. We'll actually be in the other building in the like behind the entertainment hall, which I swear to you guys, I know all of us vendors over there, we all know that's going to affect our sales, and the AX is incredibly expensive to be at. So my hope is that it works out well, because I've got to fly people out to make sure that they get so that I can have the support that I need. We had to get hotels because it's exhausting, and also it's open from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. in that hall. What? 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Who do you think we are? So we're all going to be tired, and I will try to figure out a way to get enough help, but I might need to see if I can get some like volunteers or someone to help me out, because that's just going to be too much for the small amount of team members that I have. But after that, the rest of the year is set up. I'm going to be at Anime NYC again, at New York City Comic Con this time, GalaxyCon in Columbus, Fan Expo in Chicago, and Fan Expo in Boston. But yeah, check those out. There's a lot, and that's not all that we've applied to. That's just all that we've gotten into so far. By we, I mean myself and my team member, who will show up to me, whichever team member or volunteer will show up at the time. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any more questions. Let me go back on Instagram and see if I can follow. Oh, there we go. There's a lot. A lot of people showed up. Let's see. Are you still planning to do any more characters? Love your work. Got to see you at Frankenstein's a few years ago and got the no face bag. I love it so much. Yay! Thank you. And then Borbene says, hey girly, how's my daughter? It's nice to see your face. Hi Borb, how are you? Hopefully I didn't miss you. I hope you're still on. Borb is my lifelong teacher, and father from connection, just because he's always been there for me ever since I was like 13 or 14. Yay, hi Borb. So one of the cool things about being into art and doodling and stuff like that is that when I was 12 or 13 or 14, I ended up getting into this really cool art program that, what did I do? I'm not cropping and resizing it. A really cool art program that was in a normal school, but the art program itself was pretty extraordinary. And Borb was my print graphics teacher. So Borb taught me how to do things like write a letter and put like my address on it and write a check and figure out how to fill out things, and also how to screen print on t-shirts, which I swear I've done it before. So I don't know why now I'm like, screen printing looks so hard. I've done it before. Did it when I was a child. I could totally screen print a shirt, but at the same time, I never thought about it until now that I've totally done screen printing before. And design my first letterheads, and design my first, basically make me functional to get jobs and survive in this world. So, and every time I showed back up while I was in college, my teachers in that program were always really supportive. AKA they'd let me use their supplies if I needed to print something. So could your brother. Oh yeah, my brother was also part of the program. I'm not part of the program. He should have been part of the program, but he was definitely in print graphics when he was in high school as well. Now he's a computer engineer. And what's the difference between a computer scientist and a computer engineer? Anybody? Does anybody know? But he also still does really creative artistic projects. Like he still cuts on the die cut machine. What is it called? The Cricut, and designs things and weeds vinyl and stuff like that. He still does that kind of stuff, but just for his own personal projects. Both of my brothers are I want to say that they're computer science majors. computer engineering, one of the two. But they're both also very creative. Like my younger brother is incredible at like videography, just really, really incredible. And my older brother just has like this ridiculous creative streak that he pulls off when it comes down to problem solving and kind of taking things and turning them into his own. He's really creative. Oh, XW Wyvern says, what's the difference between selling as a vendor and selling in Artist Alley? Good question. Lots, to be honest. I mean, I guess the approach I've had has tried to keep it similar, but I'm learning how different they are. So let's talk about some of the differences at least. One of the differences is the price. Selling as a vendor is always more expensive. You get a bigger space, which is one of the reasons why I started selling as a vendor, because I have so much stuff that I was like, I can't fit this on a 6-foot table anymore. So I started selling as a vendor with the hopes that, you know, the extra space could help with all the growth that I wanted to do and all the art and the designs and all the products that I wanted to continue creating. But the upfront cost is very much higher. It's probably a difference between anywhere, let's just say, Artist Alley would be, on average these days. Oh, Ben joined too. Oh, Ben. Okay, I'll talk about Ben later. Ben is my favorite. Ben and Borb. They're my favorites. Artist Alley would be on average maybe about, let's just say, $250 at the lowest for like a decent con to make some money, to like $900 and something for a place that might give you like 2 tables or be like a prime real estate or something like that, and have a decent amount of people that'll pass by to where you can get that table covered and stuff like that and make a profit. But Exhibitors Hall, I want to say, I'm trying to think of a lower price, but I don't think it's very low anymore. I want to say it's anywhere between like $700 and the most I've ever spent for Exhibitors Hall is like $10,000. And that was an Anime Expo last year because I had 4 booth spaces. Now you can spend more than that, you can spend less than that. But for like a bigger con, I think it's kind of trending at maybe like $2,700 for an exhibitor space, which is significantly higher. So the amount of money that you'd have to make there to break even just for the table is higher. And you also need more support because you have more space, so you need people. You can't always set up by yourself or run the space by yourself because you've got to get the support. So you usually have to either find volunteers or get help from like a contractor or someone. For me, it's we have some contractors that help with cons. I have a couple regular employees that help with cons, like the bigger ones. And also, if you're doing the bigger spaces, often you need to invest more into things like flight tickets if you're traveling for them, for you and for helpers, and hotels that can accommodate, or Airbnbs that can accommodate. So a lot of the price is just higher. But when it comes down to that, what's different, that doesn't have to do with the cost of it. Usually it's in a different space. So the vendors are bulked together and the artists are bulked together. That doesn't mean that vendor spaces are always better. And it doesn't mean that Artist Alley spaces are always worse. I guess that's saying the same thing, but what I'm saying is that sometimes it's better to like be in an Artist Alley space at a specific event and sometimes it's better to be in a vendor space at a specific event. So it's all about like having experience both things and seeing what works for you. Now, one of the major differences I've found through experience is vendor spaces, you don't have to be an artist to be there. So when people are going to look for artists, they will look for them in Artist Alley, even though maybe like a budding artist like myself who's trying to look for more space and grow their business over the years might have branched out and showed up in the exhibitors hall. What I'm finding is that it's become harder for an artist, like someone who does the art that they're selling, to, how do I put this, to belong anywhere when they are, to feel like they belong truly somewhere when they are at an exhibitor space. It doesn't mean I'm not doing exhibitor. I still enjoy exhibitor. There's other perks to it that I'll talk to you about later. But it's the mindset. People feel like, and it's showing up differently in these exhibitors hall, that you're not supporting a small business when you're supporting, that people, like, the mindset feels like people are going to Artist Alley to support artists, and when they're going to exhibitors hall, it's more like there's a lot of corporations there, so they're looking at it as that's where the corporations are, so it's harder to find you. Not only that, but one of the observations I've had with different, not all of them, because I'm testing things out this year, but with different convention organizers, is that they don't prioritize the artists. They prioritize like the resellers and the big money corporations that will throw a lot of money into a lot of spaces. Not always. There's definitely artists there, or medium to large sized businesses there that like are very unique artists that are just incredible, and they're always in exhibitor spaces and they're wonderful. But it's just so few and far in between. I like the variety you find in Artist Alley compared to vendor. Yeah, so you go to vendor hall, and why is it saying my battery's low on my camera? It's supposed to be plugged in. Why? I gotta plug it in somewhere else if it's not working. Isn't it working? It should be working. Let me try this one. Hopefully that works. I don't want my camera to die. Yeah, so you talk about variety being an Artist Alley. Artist Alley provides a space for variety, while vendor hall, with a lot of the limitations that it has, you'll find that like the resellers and the people who end up selling a lot of licensed work end up kind of having similar items or things that feels like you can buy it anywhere. While when you go to Artist Alley, the mindset, it's just like, it's like what people's thought process goes through the head, even if it's subconsciously when they're deciding where they're going to go to spend their money, is that like, if I get it here, it's less likely that I'll find it anywhere else. Because these small independent artists, the thing is, like myself, whether I'm in one hall or another, there's only a limited amount that we can pull off because we're funding it with a lot less resources, and we're working from a smaller financial perspective. It's not just me, and it's not just Artist Alley, and it's not just vendors that it's not just vendors who sell original who sell the art that they're drawing. What I'm saying is, it's those small to medium-sized businesses who show up and kind of try to show their wares and see if they can succeed in that space. But there's a lot of things that can inhibit success to the capacity that you would hope it would be for sustainability when the exhibitors hall doesn't put you in a very good space because of one reason or another, when the artist alley you could spend less in artist alley sometimes, often, most times, and potentially make a similar amount of profit. That doesn't mean a similar amount of money, but it's like maybe the investment's higher and you make a little bit more money, but the profit is very similar to what you would have been if you would have just, spent less money, had less overhead. And potentially like the customers who would find you naturally are looking for and spending their money, artists like you or artists like myself in Artist Alley. And when they finally get to vendor hall, they're just like, oh, I already bought my Ita bag for the event, or I've already done these things. They spent a good amount of time, rightfully so, in Artist Alley and supporting the businesses there. And then when they get to get around to finding an artist that kind of is something that they might be looking for in Artist Alley, but they find it in vendor hall, it's the question is like, how often are you, like, how much of that type of business are you losing by being in a space where people aren't looking for your type of business, and your type of business is not being put in a spot where it would be easily found, aka you're kind of in a corner or not in a really great spot in the vendor hall, so you get less traffic. And less traffic means you just see less people. Less people means you make less money. So I know I'm talking a lot about like the negatives of being in vendor hall, but there's a lot of positives. The positives are you often get to re-sign up for your space. So while in Artist Alley, it's in huge competition, especially over the past year. And someone brought it up to me recently. They said that the animation industry has had a lot of layoffs, and a lot of those artists are having trouble finding jobs. So they're going and they're becoming, they're joining the biggest conventions to make the kind of money that they deserve, obviously, hopefully, and then intentionally. But it's the saturated market is making it to where it's becoming incredibly difficult to even get a chance to try to apply at these events. And by get a chance to try, I mean some of the events, one of my favorites actually, I'm not going to bring it up, but it was very disappointing to see that I wasn't even able to apply because it opened and closed within like a mere couple hours, and the information about the timeline in which it opened was very kind of last minute, where the information was made available. And then also they only accepted like 1,000, like it was supposed to be open for 3 days or something, and they only accepted 1,000 applicants, which closed it within a very short period of time. I'm not sure exactly when it closed, but I definitely didn't even get an opportunity to apply. So, and it wasn't expected because I feel like it wasn't like that when I've applied in the past. But yeah, there's a lot of jury and lottery and things that affect whether you can get into events. There's a lot of back end stuff when it comes down to again, whether you catch the application open window within a very short period of time. If you were one of the 100 people, 1,000 people, much less if you were accepted from those 1,000. It's just such a short period of time that makes it very hard to get into Artist Alley with such a saturated market. While vendor hall, on the other hand, if it works for you, it could be easier to, it could be, not always, for specific events or some for some like chain events, it could be very possible to get in. Also, it's harder to get into specific events, like for example, what's it called? Comic-Con San Diego. It's just like there's no such thing as a wait list. I know there's a wait list, there's no wait list. It's just not, you're just not getting in. But there's ways to get in, but a lot of it's like timing or luck or something like that. So I've never been there, but I really want to. I've been there. I've been there on my own, like as a person hanging out. Also, I have been there as a what's it called when you like as a guest for a panel. That was really fun. That was a couple of years ago. Penadactyl says, I saw you're getting ready for NYCC. I can't wait to finally meet you. I will be at NYCC, and I know you always send someone. You're so sweet. You always send somebody. But if you're going to be there for the first time, it'll be really cool to see you in person. That'd be really awesome. I have some of your pens on my wall. I really appreciate you. And then Penadactyl says, will you be at Artist Alley? No, for NYCC, I will be in the vendor hall. Again, the only reason why I'm able to be at NYCC this year is because of getting the opportunity to go in through the vendor hall. So, like I said, it's a kind of like a give and take. But some events, like for example, I really like vendor hall for Otakon, which I will be signing up for again this year. But I really like Artist Alley for Katsucon. Even though I'm not in Artist Alley, I'll share you guys a little bit more about what I'm trying to do for Artist Alley for Katsucon. I'll talk to you guys about that later. Gotta go back to the chicken, says Borb. I'll miss you. Bye. I know you're already gone. And then XW Wyvern says, do you do stamp rallies? Did one for the first time, and it got us to pay attention. And it really got us to pay attention to the booth. So stamp rallies. I've done one stamp rally before. It was a lot of work. And I told you guys, ADHD AF, like it was so much work. It also takes like financial investment up front. And you have to coordinate with a lot of different people. And for me, stamp rallies were like super, like just almost too much work for the reward. It felt like juggling it and like teaching whoever's with me to like make sure we promote it and like making sure we manage the financial investment to pay somebody to get the, you know, things created and promote it and do all these things. There's so much extra that I'm not even sure if I could pull it off again if I tried. I did it because I really enjoyed the people I was doing stamp rally with. But you know, you've got to, it's just a lot. It's a lot. And then Borb says, hey, Smelltown Ben, she's pretty good. You did a good job training her. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for being, so Ben was, I told you guys I'd come back to Ben. I'm not sure if he's still here, but Ben was my print graphics teacher in high school in the same exact program that Borb was. And yeah, they're basically the reason why I get to do what I do. They taught me young. Thanks, guys. Let's see. Also, I have like a shared group chat with them. That's just like for dad jokes. Which Ben hates, but I think it's funny. Let's see. Okay, and then Marcus says, you're very talented of what you do. I love meeting artists around the US. Cool, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much. Nope, it's all you. Still here. Still bragging about you. Ben and Borb. I love you guys both. You guys are seriously still two of my favorite people on the planet. And Ben has like a drawing that I did a long time ago of him with a beard as his Instagram icon, which is really cool. And XW Wyvern says dad jokes are top tier. I love dad jokes. I love finding them. I love sending them. I love laughing to myself about them. I love thinking that everyone would hate them. Like, yeah, I can't send this to somebody. They would hate that. I love them so much. I'm not like the wittiest person. I don't think fast enough to be witty. But I don't think I could deliver a dad joke pretty well. But I know that I like hearing them. They make me happy. It's something about the dumbness of them that makes me happy. And then Borb is like super good at dad jokes. I guess because Borb is like just like the ultimate dad. I kind of like seeing the drawing on the screens, like getting the different perspective of looking at it after it's drawn, because sometimes like this, like I have to just flip an image to see it from a different perspective, which is fine. I like that too. But it's something about like the shape of things that I enjoy seeing from different views. There's a little lag in between what you guys see and what I see. That's his avatar that Gail drew. Yeah, Avatar is what I drew. Not for, I didn't draw Borbs. Borbs is like, that's always been his lifetime drawing. Avatar, like what his face always looks like when it's like just like his icon. But Ben's, I did draw that one. I think it might be time in some years. I think every 5 years I redraw Ben. I might be coming up on that timeline again sometime soon. Oh my god, time passes way too quickly. I mean, I don't hate this. I just feel like there's something about this shape that is missing. Like some level of wave. I like how my it's good when I say I don't hate this. It's a positive. It's a positive thing. It's a compliment. Okay, let me see if maybe flipping it is gonna help. Let me figure out what I need to do next. I don't think I can animate this, like the braids. I don't know. Maybe that's one of the limitations. Ben says, if you're ever in the Spokane area, I would love to come hang out. You speak with one of my students working on building an illustration major in the near future. That's really cool. Is that what you're working on now? And if you come to Spokane, I will travel up to see you. No, Spokane, where is that? Is that in Washington? I'll be in Seattle coming up in like next month, I think. I haven't gotten my flights yet. How far is Spokane from Seattle? East Washington? Like from the airport, the Seattle airport, how far away is it? Or like the Seattle Convention Center. I think that's where I'll be staying next to. But the airport is still like the most important one. So that'll be my first time in Washington. Both for the event. I'm going to be at this one called Emerald City Comic Con. And my first time there. Seattle's about 5 hours. Damn it. That's too far. What's in Spokane? Just Ben and the college? Or something else in Spokane? Because I don't know much about the area, but I also don't know any events that might be over there. And I haven't traveled specifically to Washington before for myself. I knew it. I knew you were going to say that. Well, I'm about 2 hours south. That's not pretty much just me. I knew it. It's just you. That's a good reason to go though, Ben. That's a good reason. Not to say that, I just want to validate that. You're a good enough reason to go to Spokane. I'll be traveling a lot this year, and I've got to figure out what that looks like. Because the event that's in Washington is actually a 4-day event. So when events happen, and they're usually I have to travel in the day before. No. In 2 days before the event happens, because the day before is usually a setup day, and setup day is a lot of work. So I'll come in 2 days before the flight day, and then the setup day are the 2 days. And then I'll leave the day after because we have to break down at the event. If the event ends on a Sunday, we have to break down on Sunday. So I'll leave like Monday morning or Monday afternoon. So usually, for example, for a 3-day event, I'll fly out on a Wednesday and fly back home on a Monday. And for a 4-day event, I'll fly out on a Tuesday and fly back home on a Monday. It's a long time to be away from family. It's a long time to be away from my daughter. A long time to be away from my cat. But it's pretty much what's required. A lot of people, like I recently traveled with a friend, and they drove up the same day of setup. I'm talking about like got up at like before 2 o'clock in the morning, picked me up in Georgia at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was in Georgia at the time because we were gonna go I was between events, and I stopped in Georgia so I can ride up with them to the next event. So it was like 2 weeks back to back in January. And when I ended up going with them, they picked me up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we got there in the afternoon and then did all the setup and all the work, and then went back, got some food, and went to sleep, and then went to work the next day. So that's pretty rough for me. I get migraines. It was fine. I got sleep. I didn't have to drive. But I don't drive I don't drive to events. I have to fly in. But yeah, coming in the same day as setup is pretty rough for me. So I usually come in the day before, but it is more expensive because you have to get an extra day for a hotel. So it saves money to go in the same day. And they also left the same day too. So they finished their work day and wrapped up everything, and then dropped me off at a hotel and then drove home. That's hours. I was just like, you guys are crazy. I don't know. I'm not the one. I don't know if I'd survive it. But a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that because it's just so expensive to stay at these hotels. For me, it's like, if I want to pull this off, I have to. I'll like manage that expense. You can drop Zoe off here and we can entertain it for free. Zoe doesn't want to travel with me. She's like, I don't know, she's 13 now. She doesn't want to do anything. She doesn't hang out with me. Shar says, is running and creating for TealTeacup your main source of income? Yes, I do this full time. I've been doing this full time for the past 6 years. Before that, I was a UI UX designer in the games industry. And in 2019, I started doing this full time. In 2020, I started streaming, but it's been about, 21, was it 2020 I was streaming, or 2022? I don't know. I think there was like a 3-year gap in between me streaming like I am now today and me streaming regularly in the past. So that 3 years is a long time, but at least I got like the experience done before now, because right now I feel like I'm relearning how to stream. But yeah, I've been traveling and doing cons full time since 2019. And I guess the past year and this year, all about like whether I keep doing this or not. Not to say I'm not going to stop, but more to say whether this is something I can do while still being like my healthiest version, not healthiest, but a healthy version of myself. No like major pressure. It's just more like I haven't had the healthiest past couple years, and it wasn't, even though the experience is incredible, I wasn't able to enjoy the reasons why I was doing this versus something else, for many reasons. And I made a lot of changes that will allow me to hopefully enjoy that stuff again. Shar says, that's so cool. Thank you. I do think it's pretty cool, just to be honest, like to say that I draw silly, derpy things for a living, to say that like people show up and like my avatar and my icon for my business is me. It's me. I am the TealTeacup. And to say that I have like a name, that's my art name, and that I'm known, like, tried to find your YouTube. YouTube might be at TealTeacup1 as well. Try to find that and see. And let me know if it's streaming well, because I'm pretty sure it's streaming the same feed. But I haven't checked it. I checked it last time afterwards and it went through. It did stream. I did take that stream down because it was a test stream, but it did work. I will be doing more long form video. I just have to pull myself together to manage that, what's the word? Like the hurdle of like organizing, recording, editing video content, and then setting it up for stream. Can I just say Mini You is so good looking? Oh, thank you. Is looking so good. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yay. Doing my best. At first I was like, Mini Me. My daughter's a Mini Me. But I forgot I'm drawing a Mini Me as well. But yeah, drawing today. This is not for anything. This is just breaking the mold, and hopefully one of these days getting the stream started and getting over the overhead like effort of doing that just will be a lot quicker, so that at the time that I'm inspired to do something, I can move with whatever I was thinking of drawing at the time, or I can have more brain cells for problem solving. Like today I was thinking of illustrating and animating, and I'm not saying that I'm not going to do it. I'm saying that that's what I was planning on doing today, and I didn't do it. I did not do it. I feel like it's just such a learning curve. I'm not going to pretend like it's not daunting to think of. I'm also not going to say that I wouldn't enjoy it. I really do enjoy the small opportunities that I get to animate. It's just so many hours. So I have to catch up with you later. Stay creative, Gail. Thanks, Ben. Catch up with me later for sure. Reach out. We'll talk soon. I have a newsletter to put together. I've enjoyed watching your beautiful, talented young women demonstrating their talent. I could not be more proud of you. That means a lot. You know that you're like, my faraway dad that I rarely get to see. So I appreciate you, Bill. That sounds weird. Borb, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on and hanging out with me, both of you guys. Hopefully you guys get to come and hang out more often. I'll be doing more doodling and more fun stuff than just doodling my face. Hopefully. Even though this is still fun. I'm not gonna lie. And then Mir says, I love all your work. Will you be at Katsucon this year? So I guess I'll talk to you guys about Katsucon since I did get the question. So I will be at Katsucon physically, as in I have ticket, I have a place to stay, and I will be showing up. Now, I'm doing something that I've never done before because there was a mix-up with the registration timelines and communication with that with my team member this year who was registering for the first time. And we did not get to register. So what I'm going to do is basically show up. Wish me luck. I'm going to show up and see if they have an open artist alley space. If they do, I will take what they have. I will ask them if they have something available. Now, that doesn't always work. You know, this is a very busy con. I'm just literally going to do this for the first time. And if I don't get into artist alley as like, you know, like just there's an empty space and they have room for someone, and instead of like giving it to the person next, they allow it to they allow someone to occupy that space, which ideally that someone will be me. I have my like seller's permit and everything for just in case. Like, wish me luck. I really hope it works out. But if it doesn't, I'm fully prepared just to enjoy my time there. Because I don't usually go to cons just for fun. But this time, if I don't make it in, I won't be working, which will be fine. Tamara says, hola, hi, how are you? Thanks for coming on. And JG Collect says, are you going to be at BlurredCon this year? I did not get into BlurredCon this year. I got waitlisted, which made me sad, but it just means that I get to sleep. Because BlurredCon is in the same timeline as other events. So I don't, or maybe there's another event I'll be at. That same timeline, actually. Cut and paste. So I won't be at BlurredCon, unfortunately, because I had a really fun time last year. And I thought maybe I would get in this year because last time was so much fun. But no. But next year, possibly. Not this year, but 2026. Wow, shake my head. I know. It's sad. I was just like, what? No. Huh? What did I do? How did I get in last year but not this year? What happened? But I've got a lot of places I'm going to, so since I will be at so many places, it's not too bad for me, like, logistically. It's just I had so much fun at BlurredCon last year. It was so much fun. I didn't do like the partying and all that because I'm an old person and I need sleep. But the people and the energy and the vibes are all so good. I was just hoping I could make it back. But again, I'm not dead yet. Maybe another year. But BlurredCon wasn't like the biggest financial event. It wasn't a whole bunch of money that could be made there. So that's not an event that I can go and like do what I'm trying to do with Katsucon, which is one of my favorite events, which I've been at every year for many years that I'm not necessarily signed up for right now. So I have to try. Katsucon is one of my absolute favorite events. Absolute favorite. And even though financially we've got, you know, other events that I've never been at before, like MegaCon, which is like the week before that, I would be remiss if I did not try. I feel like I should have tried if I don't go down there and like just try to see what I can do. Katsucon is, again, one of my absolute favorite events to attend as a vendor or as to the artist alley. And I will miss it if I don't get a chance to try. Plus, I've been there for so long, I feel like I get to see, you know, the same faces. And if I'm not there, it'd be sad. I will still be sad if I don't get in, but not like broken, because I'll still enjoy the event. How do you decide if an event is worth trying out? There's a couple factors. to consider in advance, but one of the bigger things I have to say is that events are a relative gamble. By that means that like it's hard to tell if it's worth it or not until you've actually attended the event, or even after you've attended it. Sometimes your expectations don't get met the next year for one reason or another. For example, the convention center changes locations and or changes the time of year, and that could have a big effect on the success of the event for the vendors themselves and the attendance from the attendees. Or sometimes you show up at an event and you think it should be good, but some other factor might have changed the you're like the possibility for you to make the kind of money that make it worth going. And by worth going, I mean, I've talked about this on different streams with the retros. It's you can make a certain amount of money, but you also spend a certain amount, so you have to ask yourself at the end of the day, like, is it worth having dedicated all the time, energy, resources, finances, travel, planning, that time of year, whatever you're sacrificing to be there, for whatever you make as a profit. So not just what you make as a like a gross income, not just what you make there, but what you take home that you didn't actually already put into spending to be there. So the cost of hotels, the cost of help, the cost of shipping your inventory, the cost of prep, applying, the cost of the table cost itself. There's a lot of overhead to be considered for these events. And then you have to ask yourself, like, am I capable of making that? So one of the things is how many people will be there. So it's not guaranteed that the amount of people that will be there will still equate to how much money you can make. Because sometimes, like, the event is an event that is mostly for, like, people who really enjoy comic books, and that might, like, not be something that people like. I'm not saying that Comic Cons are bad. I'm doing a lot more comic events this year, but they are a risky venture for someone who does more anime based stuff like myself, and kawaii things like myself. But also maybe the main allure of the people showing up is to get, like, signings. And signings can be very expensive, so people might have less financial income for buying things other than their favorite, like what they showed up for, like their favorite a celebrity or artist to sign a thing. So different events that have a different allure might affect how much money you can make there. And, oh no, what layer am I on? I'm on the hair layer, that's fine. Sometimes it's your placement. So the event itself might be great, but your placement made it to where if, like, for example, if 20,000 people are going, I'm just making it up, if 20,000 people are going and 10,000 people are going to the artist alley or wherever vendor space you are, and then 5,000 people actually cross by your booth, and then 25,000 people might consider what you are doing, but like 10,000 people stop by and like 5,000 people buy. I'm just like, those numbers are really high. But it's like a percentage, like what percentage of the people that are there actually stop by are the kind of people that would enjoy your work, and the kind of people that would buy is all affected by your placement and the event itself and the amount of people who show up. So one of the biggest things is how many people are going to be at that event, especially if I'm traveling. It says whether I can afford to be there or not. There's also really great resources like Artist Alley International, which is now on Discord. It used to be on Facebook. And there's a lot of people you can talk to about what their experience was. Shar says, Marcus said, you got waitlisted for BlurredCon? Yeah, I did. And then Shara says, do you not go back to the con if it wasn't profitable the first time? That's a good question. Not necessarily, but yes. Like if it's a travel event, I as much as I'd love to be there, sometimes I can't afford to be there. So I've had a couple events this year that fall under that category. UAHCIA says, Gail, hello love, how are you? And then XW Wyvern says, the cost of attending con is already crazy. I can't imagine as a business. Right. So there's been circumstances where us as vendors have to kind of figure out what happened. Maybe like there's like people just aren't spending, or like everybody's kind of suffering in the artist alley. And that's happened a lot over the past couple years. And we have to ask ourselves what could be some of the factors. One of the factors could be that the event itself is not that alluring, and the cost of attending was very high. So maybe like, why would they spend like $45, $75 to be there for a day, and they like walk around a circle and that's it? I'm not saying all of the events are like that. I'm saying there have been events like that. And then they just kind of go, some of them are like, you might be able to call it like a hangout con, where people go to hang out. They spent their money to go there and to experience like just the culture of like hanging out with friends. But they don't have the extra income after the cost of the ticket to really spend on, I want to say frivolous expenses. It's all a frivolous expense, but things like, you know, buying things at an artist alley are just, they're, you know, outside of, like, they're not food and they're not your rent. It's stuff that you make a choice to get and support and stuff, but it's not keeping you alive. So you have to, in these days, in this economy, people have to make specific decisions with their finances. So it's a little bit tougher to, like the amount of, like the crossover between people have money to spend and people who hit your booth and people who hit your booth that would want to spend money there, it ends up being more and more narrow as all these factors start to play into pieces. Shar says, do you not go back to the con? Oh yeah, sorry, I read that one the first time. So yeah, only if I can afford to go back, and if it has a value that might be, for example, it's not just money. It's not just money at these events. Like, you have to go because of money, but sometimes the finances are the biggest factor, so you can afford to go. But you enjoy yourself and you enjoy the people, or you enjoy the event, you enjoy the con. There's a lot of other factors that can make it possible to go back to an event that you don't make a whole bunch of money at, or like that doesn't fall necessarily within the tier. That makes it really hard not to go back. I saw some of the vendors didn't find it possible to attend any of the cons in Rhode Island, as con goers mostly prioritize the Boston con since they're still relatively close. Yeah, so that's a good point. So there are cons in certain areas that people save up their money for. They're like, hey, I'm going to go to this con, so I'm not going to, you know, dump all my money in this one like smaller event when I'm looking forward to the bigger event that I go every year, or this event that's coming up that I'm excited about. So, you know, there's like East Coast events, there's West Coast events that are more likely for people to attend. Some of them I'm really excited about attending for the first time this year. So that, like, maybe traveling, it's the same level of effort to leave. It can be quite like a varying level of expense, but the same level of effort for the same amount of time to make like substantially less money at an event that people, that like the amount of money people that you have the potential to make there is much lower than putting the same level of effort, same amount of time into showing up at an event where you can just make a reasonable return on that investment. So that's a big factor when it comes down to making a choice, is like, how likely is it that you're going to hit the numbers that make the type of return of investment that makes it, part like super, super valuable to be spending your time and energy and effort and travel and limited resources there. Because if we had all time in the world and all the energy in the world, and if they were easy to go to and I would go to all of them. I love showing up at these places. It's one of the things that is the best part about doing what I do, is like connecting with people in person. Because that's one of the reasons why I'm streaming more often, to be honest, is because when I'm traveling, it reminds me, and when I'm streaming, it reminds me that there are people on the other side that care about, care about what I do, and it feels more valuable to be putting the level of effort it takes to run this business into it. Because when I'm here by myself, sometimes it's just so hard that I'm just like, why am I doing this? This is so hard. And then I run into people at these events and talk to them, and I go, this is why I'm doing this. This is why it's worth continuing to figure out how to make this work. Because if it was just me, there's only so much of myself that I can give in like a vacuum or with the four walls around me, and still feel like it's worth it. It's a little too hard, unless there's somebody there on the other side reminding you that they're happy that you're here. So thank you for everybody who does that. It makes a difference every single time. Like, Anime Boston is huge compared to Rhode Island Anime Con. Yeah, so by huge, you might mean the amount of attendees that go. You might mean like the size of the event space itself, like maybe they're in like a smaller convention hall. So there's a lot of people that'll go to Anime Boston that don't actually live in Boston, so the amount of attendees are high. So for example, Anime Expo, which is going to again be a really tricky event for us this year, because of how they're laying out the spaces, and again, that affects how much potential return on the investment you can make. Anime Expo has people that come from all over the world to go. So even if they don't know you, they get a chance to see you there in an opportunity that they normally would not. But there's some value to going to smaller events. Like, for example, someone came into the chat today and said that they saw me at like a sticker expo I went to once or a couple times. Where did they say? There's a sticker expo that I went to. Oh my god, the chat. The chat is so long. Okay, I think I give up. My ADHD won't let me scroll any higher. Okay, cool. I gave up. But there's a sticker expo that I went to, and it's locally. And even though it's a lot of like, I don't think it exists anymore. Actually, I talked to the vendors, and they said that there was a reason why. The people who ran it in the recent year, and they said that they weren't currently doing that event. But the smaller events, you get to make more of a connection with people. Like some of the events that I can't afford to travel for and go back to, that I have already gone to this year, like the best part of it was having that open space to talk to people and to make connections that you can't make at you can make them at bigger events. I've made some really great acquaintances and friends at the bigger events. But there's something about the smaller events that can really stick with people. So even if they do see you at the bigger events, they're like, oh, I remember you from this event. And that's such a cool feeling. And like years later, oh, last time I saw you was at some event that was really small years and years ago. And you're just like, what? That's cool. You remember me? Like, that was so long ago. But I remember that feeling about AX2. I know I keep bringing it up, but it's just comparing these event sizes, and that's the biggest. So, the biggest that I go to, at least. And thinking to myself that some people who had seen me when I was sharing a table space with a friend in like 2018 or 2017 or something like that, And it was just like a couple panels with, you know, some art pins that I had, and it was an artist alley, and they had a bigger space that was all around me, and like there's a bunch of people passing by, so you could barely see me. But like I had made the most money I'd ever made at that point, like ever, because I wasn't doing events, and I definitely wasn't doing them full time. So it was like that was like the biggest opportunity, and people still remember seeing me there for the first time. That was fucking cool. I'm like, you remember me? So like the memory still locks in with these bigger events too. Like people do their best to show up, and they invest into being there. Like they told you, the tickets and everything, they invest into being there. So they're like making memories and making experiences. And, you know, when you buy stuff online, it's still fantastic. It really is. But there's something about buying in person that leaves you like with like a solid, core memory, but like core connection with the, artists and the business itself that can be really like, it can last it can last the span of time. Like the time that wears away memory has a tendency to be a little bit more forgiving if you've seen them and met the people in person. So I like making those types of connections with people. I think Shar says both. I think Anime Boston is the biggest in New England space and attendance, right? So it's interesting because Anime Boston was one event that I got into years ago, and I found out that they didn't do stickers, and I had to stop doing this, but at that point I was putting stickers in with all my pins, and it didn't really seem reasonable for me to be able to take them out, and I got like honestly some bad advice not to go. And I wish I would have gone. No, I don't know. Maybe I don't wish I would have gone, because I'm pretty sure it was in March, and March is like my birthday timeline. So I was probably, and I try to go to Japan every year, so I was probably in Japan instead of Anime Boston. So you can't be mad at that. But thinking about it these years, I'm like, I really want to go to Anime Boston. I'm pretty sure we applied to it. I'm not sure what the application timeline is, whether we've applied or we're going to apply, whether we got waitlisted, but it's not on the list as of yet. And again, ADHD, I would not be in any of these events if it wasn't for the help of a team member that applies to events for me. So we follow up and we catch up. There's times of the month where I'll just go through and ask a bunch of questions about stuff, but she's on it, applying for all the things for me to make sure I can show up in these spaces that I want to be at if I can't apply in person. Some of them you can just apply when you're at the event, so I can reapply in person. XW Wyvern says, you make a great first impression. It's hard to forget you. Aw, thank you. So do you. You do make a great impression. I remember saying to you when I first met you how proud I was of you for showing up and like being all super social and not being shy. It was really nice, because I know that's a level of effort that you know, you've got to put into things, and I appreciate that about it. So thanks. It's because of people, because I mean, if you see me on a Saturday or a Friday, yeah, sure. You probably make a great impression. If you see me on a Sunday when I'm like super tired and I'm dying and I'm like basically nonverbal because I've mentally used up all of my capacity, maybe a less great first impression. But I promise you, each and every person that I run into, no matter how my processing system is applying at that exact moment, you guys are all incredibly important to me. And XW Wyvern says, I really appreciate that. You know, the feeling's mutual. I appreciate you. And then Shar says, Anime in Boston is always Easter weekend. Ooh, that's rough. See, the question is it good because it's Easter weekend? Or is it... Oh, it's always Easter week. Yes, that's my birthday. Is Easter weekend my birthday? No, that's in April. When was it? I wonder. Maybe I was traveling right before that? I don't remember. The Easter weekend is not my birthday. But like that springtime is still my birthday timeline. I am just I don't know, enjoying the zen of making these little braid lines. Braids don't actually work this way, but it's really fun to do it this way because the complications of making braid lines accurately is not fun. But this is fun. So I do it this way because I do what I want. I'm almost done. It means that less people show up on Sunday. Oh, sure, that makes sense. Because Easter Sunday, even though people have like, you know, a holiday perspective, it probably just means that Sunday is, even though Sunday, less people show up anyways at events, people probably have obligations that they need to be at versus just having a day off like if it was on a different holiday. That makes sense. Yeah, so the feedback like that is helpful because when I'm showing up at these events, sometimes I don't know what might affect someone's capacity to attend it or like the potential for success. All right, so a little doodle. I did it. There's a little doodle. Hold on, let me see if I can turn off the layers that are sketchy. Where's it? The sketchy layer. It's right here. There you go. I did a little doodle. She cute. I like her. And I group it because I layered it in a way that I liked. I don't always need the layers separated after I group it, but sometimes I do. So I try either to make a new file and work from that, or I'll just make a new group of layers. Like I'll just group it and then turn off the visibility and then duplicate it and then squish that layer so I can preserve the original layered stuff that I might need. Like maybe I need those glasses separated or something like that. No, I don't think for this, but like if I was animating it, I definitely would have appreciated keeping those layers. But also in Procreate, you can tap it and then press reference. When you do that, it's a lot easier to fill the layer with color. I'm just gonna pick a random color for now. It's not too bad, but I think I don't know. Sure, we'll take that color. Yeah, so it'll reference that layer. Even though it's on its own layer, it'll still reference that layer. Jose says, "What's up?" Hi, what's up? How are you? Sorry I missed your message, Jose, if you're still there. It was a wonderful greeting. Thank you. Again, if you guys are here in Instagram, I can see you there. If you guys are on Twitch, I can see you there. And then there is also a multi-stream chat that might be for TikTok, but I haven't tested it out yet. XWY says, I gotta go enjoy the rest of your stream. It's always good to have you. Thanks for hanging out. It's 6 o'clock already, so I'll be finishing up soon anyways. Thanks for hanging out. I'll probably repost this on Twitch. Yeah, I'll probably manage the post for this one on Twitch. I'm not sure because the stream is so long. I'm probably not going to repost it here on Instagram or anything like that. But I will do it on Twitch. So if you guys like to come and hang out and see things, please follow me on Twitch. Yeah. I think it's probably gonna come up on that timeline where, because I told myself that when I started streaming, I would be, what's the word? Like healthy about it. So I will end up stopping the stream soon. I do want to come to a final place with this doodle, which was fun. I totally didn't plan on drawing this again. This is like 100% just working from my comfort zone to get used to streaming. I'll be doing that for just a little bit longer, hopefully. And once I start doing this on a regular basis, I'll get a timeline in which I'll stream regularly, and I'll announce that to you guys. And then I'll also have more structured like objectives to my streams. Sometimes I'm more structured with my normal Instagram streams than I am with my drawing streams. Like, for example, I still need to do a stream for the retrospective discussion on the last con that I went to. And I plan on doing that. Just not today. I always have to change the reference layer. This was fun though, not gonna lie. I got to hang out with people that always show up on my streams, so thank you. I got to hang out with some new people. I got to get a chance to stream on multiple platforms for actually a couple hours. That's pretty cool. And I got to doodle and use my template again and do a side view for my template, which I like this. It's still like, I was worried because like the other one was really round and kind of like just a circle, and this one like has the features that I really enjoy, like the little button nose and stuff like that, which is really fun. It probably does change what it would look like for the template, what's it called, proportions, if I were to do the same face forward, which I want to do, and I might do, because it's a possibility that this could end up being something that I use as an avatar in if I animate it or something. What do you guys think? All I just have to do is take this and break it down into different pieces. I could probably animate it. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I should be productive with what I'm doing and do more original work and stuff that I can use versus like things that I'm just doing because it's fun, like the Luffy one. And by that, if you guys weren't here before, is I'm using these like little template that I drew to do a side view and to break the template down into actual realization of a character in space that can be turned into from a side view to a front view to a 3D space, looking up, looking down, stuff like that. So I'll have more fun breaking down mine, just like I did Luffy in all the different versions, which was somewhere. Yeah, all these different versions of Luffy. Luffy was just like my experimental one anyways. I was just doing it because I've been watching a lot of One Piece, and when I started drawing this, I was watching One Piece at the time. It's like one of the biggest factors of accomplishing things for me and my ADHD brain is the path of least resistance. So whatever's easiest at that time, just kind of move with it and see what comes about it as a result. I use a different brush. What was the brush I used recently that I liked? I don't remember what it was. Recent? Is it this one? No, it was not that. That looks like skin problems. I feel like maybe it was like a watercolor brush. Wet acrylic. Watercolor syrup, I don't think it was that one. Maybe wet acrylic? Ooh. I don't really like that either. I kind of like that. It's not what I was looking for, but I like it. Or maybe it was what I was looking for. Oh no. Okay, so I think that's like my what's it called? My healthy warning is when it says my battery's gonna run out on my iPad. Is a good reason to stop streaming and to go get some food. Let's use that as an excuse, don't you think? Again, still want to finish some of this to get it to a point where I like it. I do think that the multi-stream seems pretty successful though. Like I feel like it was a big win to be able to stream on more than one account because I've never done that before. And like the overhead seemed like it was going to be too difficult. Maybe I'll double check and see how it shows up on other accounts again, but when it comes down to it, I feel like this was a successful stream. Like there was 2 active conversations. I got to stream on Instagram, which is one of my biggest goals because that's where most of my following is. That's where you guys show up, is Instagram. At least that's where you show up first, and then you guys transition into other platforms. But and I got to test out like what it was like to draw on Instagram. I've always talked on Instagram, but I've never drawn and set it up in this way to where the drawing will show up unless I was on Twitch. So let me get my Twitch streaming hours in because I want to. It's a goal of mine. Also, let me be able to draw on Instagram because I want to chat with you guys here. But I do want you guys to go over to Twitch if you get a chance, if it's something that you're interested in. Because Twitch is like one of the streaming things that I've wanted to do is start back up there. That's where it used to be. And then eventually I'll start focusing on things like my Discord again, but my Discord has pretty much like been neglected for so long that it's gonna be just one piece at a time, I think. All right, you guys, I think I'm done. This is officially the last of this doodle that I'm going to be working on today. I really hope that you enjoyed hanging out. I hope that you liked chatting and enjoyed the experience of like kind of brainstorming with me and starting from nothing and creating something silly and cute. And I also hope that you guys get a chance to follow and join me on TikTok at TealTeacup1, or I'm sorry, not TikTok also, but on Twitch at TealTeacup1, and that you guys keep an eye out for the events that I'll be at, and for future streams that I'll be at. Shara says, thank you, have a good evening. Thank you too. I hope you guys all have an incredible evening. I am going to go eat and hydrate and do all the things that I've done. I know it looks like I've been on here for like 2.5 hours, but for the amount of time it took for me to set up, it was about 5 hours. I promise you, eventually when I know, I will let you guys know what a regular streaming time will be. And I'm curious about what it would be like to like stream and like, I don't know, stream in different like scenarios and atmospheres. I don't know. My brain is curious about how I'm pulling this off and what I actually want it to be. So thank you for hanging out with me as I figure it all out. I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and hopefully I'll talk to you guys